kind of key moments throughout the crunch time and overtime included. I wanted to ask you about the play where Luka hits the step back three, what you guys wanted to get done defensively, and if you were looking to foul versus, trying not to get at. So what was the plan there?
No, we weren't looking to foul. Everything was red after it's in. Hit if we needed to. Felt confident in the five guys we had out there defending. And he did what Luka does. He made a shot. I'm kicking myself in the butt. I needed to coach a little better in that instance. We should have blitzed him, but, again, or at least force him inside the three-point line. And, those situations is kind of chaotic, a bunch of chatter, everything's going on. You're trying to figure out, the matchups, and we're going to read it and switch anyway. So that was that. I'll take the bullet for that. That's on me. We have to be better defensively in those moments and force someone.
Let's move on to the next topic here on today's show. We're going to move into the NBA right now, okay, because it went down for the Lakers. What is our biggest takeaway from the Mavs double overtime thriller win against the Lakers? And Cuz, if you want to start us off, by all means.
I'm going to start y'all off. It's Luka Doncic. We got to start pitting some. I mean, he gets respect, don't get me wrong. But this dude is clutch. I mean, I'm watching it in real time and for real. Like those 2 threes he hit, as he was being stifled, they was blitzing him. Yeah, they could probably blitz him again. They probably should have fouled him. We know all of that. But at the end of the day, he hit the shot. He's making clutch shots and clutch moments in real time. We got to start looking at Luka Doncic as possibly the best player in the NBA. Giannis, Luka, and I know Giannis play defense, Luka defensive suspect, but Luka Doncic, man, he's sensational. And the Lakers right now, without AD, they're a below average team. So it ain't like Luka Doncic did something to a great team, but at the end of the day, it was a great moment because you're going against LeBron James. You're in LA, you're on prime time, and he's making clutch shots in real time. No disrespect to the Dallas Mavericks and Mark Cuban. They better get that boy some help. Okay, they better give him some help immediately because eventually he's going to bounce because he has to bounce. If you're not going to give that dude a partner and give him an opportunity to win championships, he got to go because he's way too talented in real time and clutch. And I want to emphasize on that, clutch. This man is hitting clutch shots. And what he did in that double overtime thriller as the Lakers crumbled at home, Luka Doncic was a standout to me. I came away from that game saying I gained more respect for Luka, and although I had a lot of respect for him, I just gained more respect for him again. Like, wow, this dude is really that good, and I think we need to say that.
No, I agree with Freddie. I mean, that's exactly what I came out of the game thinking. There's so many variables that you can look at from both sides about takeaways from like each side and even the refereeing. Like, there's so many angles that you can go here. But Luka just stood over it all. Like, I'm saying to myself, this team is dead last in fast break points, first of all. I believe they just averaged 9.7. In the first half of the game, they had about 6, right? And then I believe they had about 6 because they was getting out and running when the Lakers was missing their shots. I believe they only scored about 2 in the second half of the game. So they kind of slowed down the pace. The Lakers was able to come back in the race. But what kept them was the shooting. You look at the game, 33.3%, to the Lakers, 24.4%. Okay, they also shot 50% from the field. My biggest takeaway is that Luka is the most valuable basketball player in basketball. He's the most valuable player in basketball, and he is my MVP right now. Russell Westbrook, he made it hard on Luka. Like, he was literally hustling out there defensively, and yet this brother was playing 41 minutes to end the game. Literally, the last 41 minutes of the game, he played it, 53 minutes overall, and still was able to have the durability and the strength to just shoot 2 clutch shots in overtime. Just have the wherewithal to do so. When LeBron James was shot and he showed that, I am the most valuable player. They need me here. Without me, where would this team be? There won't be anything. Their defense stinks. Credit to Christian Wood. He had about 5 blocks in the game. He's not known for being a defensive guy, but he did his part. He also helped, with the scoring, I believe about 26 points. But defensively, like, they're not a good team. They missing some guys due to injuries. But Luka is able to keep them afloat and win games like this because he is that guy. And he is valuable, and he is the most valuable player in the NBA. That's my take.
Y'all both had amazing takes about Luka Doncic. I think, Freddie is correct. The Mavericks do need to bring a guy over there to him, but it's just difficult to gauge who that may be. Is it a scorer? Is it a big man? Is it a playmaker? Is it a defender? It's very difficult because we see Luka play with Kristaps Porzingis. It looked like it was solid, but KP wasn't getting his touches, and he left. Christian Wood, he's not getting his minutes, his points. He's getting upset. He wants to leave. So at which point do we say, all right, Luka needs to be more of a team player, or do we just surround Luka with role players and let him be like the Allen Iverson of today, where he's going to take his team as far as they can and allow the role players to just do their role, play the defense, get the rebounds, hustle, steals, do all the other things that Luka Doncic doesn't technically need to do because he's the one providing all of the points and all of the offensive production. Because it's getting difficult to now gauge who can we put around Luka Doncic because the player might not be in the league yet for Luka Doncic to play with. We have to just kind of wait and see what the Mavs can do in the future to bring him around. Because right now, all we can say is Luka is just playing fantastic. And it may be not a single guy in the NBA who can play next to him because of how dominant he is in the game. But my biggest takeaway from last night was LeBron James. He's done. You know what I mean? Fraud. He's cooked. He's not playing to win championships. He's not playing to win games. And we've seen it clear last night. The man doesn't play both sides of the ball anymore. He's very lax days ago on defense, or he doesn't have the gas tank to play defense anymore. He has his spurts in the first half when he's playing good basketball. Then in the second half, he tails off. He disappears immediately. And I understand he wants to play with his son Bronny, but he might not even be able to play it with him. I mean, that might be done before then. I think LeBron James has done a lot in his career thus far. Excuse me. He's done almost everything, if not everything, in the league that you can accomplish. And, sometimes you have to look and say, listen, I might have to hang it up sooner than later because you can't continue to blame the guys around you and say, yeah, y'all failed me. Westbrook was playing great. Westbrook, like Lil said, Westbrook was doing all the hustle things, everything he needed to do, and they still lost the game. And you could say, LeBron could have made a single three. He was 0 for 7. Dennis Schroeder could have made a 3. He was 0 for 6. Westbrook, I think, if I'm not mistaken, had the most threes on the team, next to Kendrick Nunn. And that
more than LeBron James for sure.
So it doesn't make sense that Kendrick Nunn and Westbrook are the 3-point leaders on his team when they're arguably the worst shooters on the team.
Yeah.
So that's a very disgusting tale of what the Lakers are, and it just shows you where LeBron is at in his career. A guy right now who's just chasing accolades because at this point he's not looking to win games or to make the playoffs. He's just looking to just break records. And the Lakers need to wake up and see this is all this guy can provide, just a record breaker.
And what's crazy? That Kareem record is the record that you're talking about that he's chasing. I'm not sure. I think he's how many points away from it is he?
Sure. I can check right now. I got you.
Yeah, you could get that up for me. I do want to expand or kind of say criticize your Luka take. Even though I agree to some extent, a lot of people look at the usage and they question can other stars play around Luka, but it's like he draws so much gravity that all you have to do is make your shots. If these guys like Spencer and Reggie Bullock just make their shots, they're going to be fine. That's all you have to do is make your shots. They take the third most three-pointers in the NBA at 40.2 attempts per game. They're only averaging, I believe, about 15 in the NBA. That's average for the amount that they take. Just make it. If you make your shots, they will win the game because Luka is going to make it easy for you. So honestly, I think that take is overblown that you can't play with Luka. You can play with Luka. Just make your shots if you're a 3-point shooter. And if you are a guy like Brunson, we saw Brunson have success with Luka, and he was a shot creator. So, yeah, I'm going to just leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm glad you went there, cousin, because that's exactly where I was going. He just needs better players, and we got to stop playing around and acting like he can't play with nobody. You know what I mean? Like, give that man a dude that can handle the ball and create his own shot. Because when Bronson was there, and Bronson is not the greatest of players, Bronson was getting off and Bronson was handling his business because he could rate a shot for himself and a shot for others. Give him a Jaylen Brown. Give him a slasher. You know what I'm saying? Give him a real all-star. Not no fake all-star. No disrespect to Kristaps Porzingis, but I never looked at him like that. So give him a real guy.
Unicorn. Always disappearing.
Give him a real dude. You know what I mean? If you gave him a real dude, yeah, I think you can play with him. So before we say nobody can play with Luka, I say we give him a real guy until he plays with one of these legitimate all-stars that everybody seems to have. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then I'll say, maybe you can't play with Luka. But really quick, cousin, on your take, as far as your MVP take, and don't get me wrong, I think Luka's sensational. The only pushback I would give on your MVP take is Giannis, without Middleton, got a better record. And they pitting up very similar numbers. Giannis play defense. Luka don't really play great defense. And that's where I will be at on that. I got Giannis on a slight edge.
I mean, that's tough because I can't argue that. But like, let's say Luka right here. I believe that the defense is giving up 114 6 points per 100 possessions, 20 in defense in all of the NBA. But like when you look at Luka and the records that he's breaking, there's like a record that he just broke
Yeah, I ain't
or
got.
something like that. He became the first player since Michael Jordan, 23 or younger, to average 40 points or more over a 10-game span. So
Yep.
over the last 10 games, he's averaging 40.2 points per game, 11.2 rebounds, 9.2 assists. Like he's
Listen,
just doing it all. And it's
right. I
like if
can't.
you get the MVP to Jokic last year, and they were the 6th seed. They were the 6th seed.
Right.
Embiid was runner up. They were like the 3rd seed, 3rd or 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. You gave it to Jokic as a 6th seed. You can give it to Luka Doncic.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, cousin. I think they could give it to him. The difference, though, from last year to this year is Middleton is not playing. And that's Giannis' second best player. And without Middleton, Giannis is showing that without an all-star, I can take a team to one of the best records in the league. Similar to what Luka Doncic is doing, but right now he's just a little below. Giannis is carrying
To
his
be
team to a little
respectful,
higher
though,
heights.
the Western Conference, you look at
It's
the
tougher.
separation, it's right there. Like every
No,
team
no
almost.
doubt.
The Lakers, the team they played last night was probably the worst team in the whole conference.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
You know,
Listen,
real
Go
quick,
ahead. Zay, you have a stat. I saw it in the chat. Go ahead and explain it, my
so
brother.
LeBron James is on 399 points away from being the #1 scorer of all time. And that's playoffs and regular season combined. I just want to add on to the MVP take really quick that I believe Giannis right now is not top 3 in MVP voting.
Wow.
When we talk about
agree.
Jokic, Luka, the third was Jason Tatum because Tatum is
Yeah, I
right now is
agree with
averaging
that.
30 on 48%
I agree with that.
from the field. So Giannis right now has taken, especially I don't know what happened in the last 3-4 games. Giannis is just taking a dip in production. It's been really, really low. I don't know. I'm not gonna say teams have figured him out. I don't think that's the case. But the same like layups, the same dunks, the same even fouls he was getting at one particular time have all decreased, and his points are now like being marginalized very minimal. So I'm not sure what's happening with him. Hopefully he's healthy, but it's not looking good for Giannis right now in that MVP vote.
And to be fair, Luka Doncic never had a Middleton. Okay, you missed a Middleton now. He never had a Middleton.